Hi.
Yeah, you got it.
How's it going? I'm so sorry I'm late.
Oh yeah, no worries at all. Just as a heads up, I have a meeting at 12:30, so I can't stay too long.
Okay, sure, no worries. I think we might have to cut a little bit into like the questions section
Okay.
at the end. If you have any questions for me about like the company, but the rest of the interview should be fine.
Okay, that sounds good.
And hopefully, if you have any questions, you could ask the recruiter. I'm happy to answer any follow-ups by email.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, so sorry about all this.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a hectic day. I'm Annie. I'm on the messaging and automation team here at Paris, and I'll be your interviewer. You probably know that this is a technical interview, so we'll spend most of the time on a series of technical questions here on HackerRank. And if we have time, maybe we can, if you have any questions for me, you're welcome to ask those at the end. Have you used HackerRank before?
Yeah, I've used it before.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so you probably know how it all works. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can delete or keep the filler code, whatever suits your fancy, and change the language to, whatever you're most comfortable in. And if you don't have any logistical questions, we can go ahead and start. And if you do, feel free to let me know.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, cool. So are you good to go?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So this is a series of questions, so just make sure to pace yourself as you go along, because the first question I ask you won't be the last question. And if the prompts are a little vague, feel free to ask clarifying questions. They're a little bit vague on purpose, sort of to see, how you think about the prompts and the edge cases and the things that you might want to account for. Again, feel free to ask clarifying questions. So the first part, the first problem we want to work on is basically we want to write a function that takes a string and returns whether or not the string contains valid parentheses.
Okay, got it. Are you gonna paste the question prompt, or should I assume I can just write a function?
So that's the prompt. I can definitely write it down. So feel free to take some time to think about it, or to talk it over with me, how you intend to go about solving it, and whenever you're ready, feel free to start writing code.
Okay. Write a function that takes a string and applies whether the string contains valid parentheses. And I assume by valid parentheses it really just means open and close. So are there more than just these parentheses, or do I also have to account for the squares and the curlies?
The first ones you listed are the only things that we consider parentheses.
All right, and I assume valid means only this, or this, followed by this. Is that correct? An open followed by close?
Yes.
But I can also have like 333 like that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And you can also have no parentheses in a string.
Yeah, empty string. Okay, so can I assume I'll have any illegal characters, so anything besides an open or close?
Yeah, you can assume that there will be some other characters too.
Okay. Are there any empty spaces or white space in the string?
Yeah, there can be.
There can be white space between characters in the string. Okay. So there are a couple ways I can think to solve this. I'm sure there are probably more questions I could ask, but the more I think about it, they don't seem too relevant because all I really care about is whether the open matches the end. So the ways I can think to solve this. So for the first, I essentially just have. I can't do a counter. I was going to do a counter, but that won't address cases where. Yeah, no, a counter won't work. So I have to do the stack approach. So using a stack. So essentially, if you get an open parentheses, push the stack. If you get close parentheses, you pop from the stack. So Let me see if you add that, you add that. If you push, then pop, that's valid. Let me see what happens in case of an invalid. So if this, this, and this. All right, so this is invalid. So you get push, pop, and then pop. You can't pop there, so that's illegal. If you do this, that, pop right away, you can't do that, it's illegal. I do a couple of these. I put this, no, that's good. This. Push, pop, push. Actually, that one looks good. What is it? 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, this is 4. So this is also illegal because you have more pops. Okay, yeah. So I want to run through a couple examples, but it seems like the simplest way is to just use a stack where I just push open and I pop close. And if there's ever a case where I'm popping and I'm out of opens, so then I know that's illegal. How does that sound?
That makes sense.
Okay, so let me quickly try and code this up. So I guess validate parentheses, say this stuff. It's not this. So it's a string string. Yeah. So string of characters. So let's do this for, since it's a string, so for character and characters, if character control Z is equal to this, say void run dot append if character is equal to this close pop. So you push. See that you pop, you move on to the next one, you pop, move on, and then just return without valid parens is equal to 0. So let me think. If there's another character, just completeness, I'll say ignore. Else, non parentheses, so ignore. Just pass. And the end equal to 0. Yeah, in the case where the string is empty, well, the parentheses is already empty, so that's true. In the case where it has single open, you append, and now this is no longer 0, so it's not true. In the case where you have only a close, it's not valid. So you go here, you pop, you notice it's empty. So let me check this out. If valid parens, so if it's not empty, then you pop. Else, if it is empty, you can't pop, so you just return false. I think, let me run a couple tests to verify if that covers all the cases. It's a the white space. Equals to, let me just copy what I had up here. So this. Oh, runs a code. Let me get rid of that sum function as well. So this input is that. Let me get this one. It's invalid, and give it an empty. Let me get an empty with the quotes. What else was there? There's also this one. There's this. Oh, and there's also non-parentheses as well. So let's say, also say valid. That one should be valid. Right, so let me it's and just print all of these. Print validate parentheses or secrets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let me run these. And so let me actually put that something. This one should be true. And feel free to double check when I'm ready for the expected output. That one is false. This one is true. This one is true. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's false. This one's false. This one's false. This one's false. And this one's true. All right, so let me see my output of 1. True, that's true, false, true. Okay, that looks like it checks out. Any questions on that, or did I miss anything?
Awesome. No, I think that looks good. Do you think maybe we could try some nested parentheses and have it return true rather than false? I know you have a couple returning false here.
Okay, so what, could you repeat that? Oh, you're saying try nested parentheses that are true.
Yeah, basically.
So let me make it simple. That. And then open, close, open, close, open, close. That should be true. And also do open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, close, open, close. Looks like a good open, close. Let me try those. Okay. Run this. Oh, I didn't put the name in. There we go. Yep, so those are true as well.
Awesome. All right, great. That looks good to me. So we can move on to the next problem.
All right.
So this time we want to write a function that takes a string. Here, I will paste it here at the bottom. Write a function that takes a string. You can assume that the string already contains valid parentheses, and we want to return. Oh, okay, I can't see that anymore. The maximum depth of parentheses in the string.
Assuming the string already contains valid parentheses, we want to return the maximum depth of parentheses in the string. All right, so let me copy the test cases from before. To sort of make sense of this one. So I'm gonna write down the depth for each of one and let me know if I'm understanding it correctly. The first one is 1.
Okay, sure. So for the record, we only care about the ones that have valid parentheses.
Yeah, get rid of all the false. Okay, so that's 1. Is empty 0?
Yes, that's right.
So 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. So 3.
Yeah,
Let me add another one.
Yeah.
4. Yeah, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for this one, let me do an open and close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Let me go out here, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. All right, so this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that sound accurate?
Yep, that sounds right.
Okay, so let me add a new method. I'll write out my thoughts as well for this one. So this time we're saying not validate parentheses, but get max depth. Get max parentheses depth. And the input will be, is it a, yeah, string again, valid parentheses. All right, so let me see. This one's 1. So I can think in the situation every time I see an open parentheses. So open parenthesis should be increment by 1, increment count by 1, and for every close parentheses, decrement count by 2, and max is always equal to the maximum. Let's say max depth equals the maximum of max depth and current depth. So as I go through the string, I have some variable current depth, which starts off as 0. And as I iterate through and I increment this and decrement it based on what I see, I update max depth at each end of the for loop. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
All right, so let me quickly write that. So current depth equals to 0, turn current depth. So for parentheses and valid parentheses string, if parentheses is equal to open, to don't return current, I don't return next step. Max parentheses depth is to 0. Return. Equal to that, we'll say max parentheses depth equal to max of max parentheses depth, current depth. So every time you see that, you want to say current plus 1. Equals to 1. Else if close, and we want to decrement by 1. And I'm not going to bother updating max step because that implies once it's 1 less, the previous one would have always been 1 more. So there's no point to comparing them. So I'll just say minus equal to 1. Syntax, oh yeah, this is Python. LF. So right, so let me quickly test this. There might be edge cases, but I just want to quickly verify what this looks like. Then I'll do test inputs. Maybe I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let me see. Print all of those. There we go. Oh, we have to print. Is it Command Shift? I always forget the Vim keyboard shortcuts for like multi-line comments. I can't remember. I'll just do this one by one.
I'm not sure either.
This, this. Okay, let me run that. So I have, let's see. So 1001436. Yeah, that looks good. Anything I'm missing?
No, I think that looks good to me too.
Okay.
So yeah, this is great, and we can move on to the next problem.
All right.
So this time I'll be here in line 102. We want to write a function that takes the string. Here, I'll just copy it from here. You can assume the string already contains valid parentheses, and we want to return the max breadth of parentheses in the string.
Oh, interesting.
Take
the string,
so,
the max breadth. All right, so I'm going to go through the same exercise again. I'm going to take previous inputs and sort of.
Just to be clear, like what we mean. Well, yeah, I guess you can take the inputs and then we can talk about.
So max breadth. So before it was going all the way down. So I'm going to assume this one is 1, 0, 0, 0. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. So this is actually 1. And let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Is breadth?
This should be 3. Yeah, that's right. And this would be 2.
Oh, I think I see it. So for the 3, is it because I have the open close, that's 1, and then I have the open close, that's 2, and then the last one is 3?
Yeah, basically.
This last one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's another, that makes 2.
Yes, okay. I think so. Maybe let me give you some other examples just so we're clear on this. So for instance, this is 2, right? Sorry, that should be 8, 9. This is still 2.
Oh, okay, I see now. So max breadth is how many open get closed completely. Let's see.
How many opens get closed completely?
1, 2, 3. Wait, what is the last one?
The last one is 3.
That's 3. All right, so 1. Okay, so that's 2. That's 2. That's okay. This one's interesting.
Take another case, for instance. Let's see.
Yeah, 2 more, and that's a 4.
So let's say this is 4. Yeah, if I put something in here, that would still be 4. All right, this is a little complicated. I don't mean to make it so complicated. But,
wait, why is the last one 4?
Yeah, so if you think about this set of parentheses here, there's a breadth of 4 right there.
Okay.
You might look at this one. That's a breadth of 3.
Okay.
And you might look at this, and that's a breadth of 2. You could look at this, and that's a breadth of 1. But we're looking for the max breadth, right? So there are multiple breadths.
Okay. Give me a couple minutes to think through this one.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let me know if there's anything I can clarify.
Yeah, let me see. Unstress 4. So it's 1, 2. So is it? No. That wouldn't. Well, it's almost as if it's counting the number of parentheses at the maximum depth. To check for test input 6. This one is 3 because we have 1, 2. Can you see my highlight? So that's 1. That's 2, and that's 3.
So this is 1. This is 2, and this is 3.
Okay. Yeah. There goes that theory. Let me think again.
Okay. Will this help?
1, 2.
So.
Yes, I guess what I'm not trying to understand is for line 115.
Yeah.
So if I do this, I do this, I do this, this. Why is the 4 only for the most inner one and not the outer ones? That's the part I'm trying to understand. So you have 1.
Yeah.
2,
so I think actually this over here, that's a different.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like this is 1.
Yeah.
And this is 1. But there's no. This is 1, 2, 3 inside of this.
Oh, so this one just contributes 3, and then the last part contributes the 4th. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. The 4 is coming from here. It's not coming from here.
Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Right. Yeah. If we didn't have this, like say it was this would actually just be 3.
Okay. So is it? the one level above the deepest level? Let me see.
No, not necessarily, because like if I added here,
yeah, because this one's also
before.
1, 2, 3. So I guess what I'm trying to understand for the last one, why wouldn't it be 4?
It's not 4 because that set of parentheses is sort of separated out from the other sets here, right? You went up a level.
But why is 8? Why is 8 2? Aren't these separated?
Well, these would be separated if it was like this. Like for instance, this would still be 2 because the parentheses inside of these are separated. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. This is some strange
like
convoluted logic, but okay. Yeah, let me think through it some more. It's not something I've seen before, so I guess I'm trying to make full sense of it before I suggest any possible ways of solving it. Because if there's any depth involved, I would assume I'd probably need to use DFS or BFS. But if the depth doesn't matter, I'm thinking I don't want a graph traversal algorithm. So, and the previous one, this looks a bit too complicated for a simple stack. So I guess I'm trying to rattle my brain to see what are common data structures or algorithms that I know that might be applicable to it, and that might help me understand the problem more. So let me see. Write a function that takes a string, so the string already contains valid parentheses, return the max breadth of parentheses in the string. Is it possible for you to define in words what breadth means?
Sure. We could say like the number of the greatest number of adjacent sibling pairs of parentheses in a given string.
Wait, sorry, could you write that down for me? I might have to refer back to this.
Yeah. The greatest number of adjacent, or we could just say sibling parentheses in a string.
Okay. Sibling parentheses in a string. Okay, so that makes some sense. So in that case, I'm thinking that BFS might be helpful here. So let me sort of write out my thoughts to just say sibling parents. Because when I see sibling parents, that makes me think all the nodes at the same level of the tree. So so for every nested, that's a new level. So all the parentheses at the same level would increment by 1. So if I go on the last one actually. So the first open parentheses, so let me do that. So that first open, that's level 1. Then after that we have this. This is level 2. And then where's it closed? So it's closed. And then you get to the next one here, which is this, and that's level 1. So you back to level 1, and then what's inside of that is just this, which is level 2. And because this level 2 has the highest, that's why you say 3. Yeah. So similarly, if I do test input 8, that's level 1, and then this inside level 2, it only has 1 there, and then over here, level 2, that one has 2. Okay, so yeah, that would work. I need to distinguish the levels because this open level 2 is not the same as this level 2 because I wouldn't want to increment these counts; they're separate. So I don't necessarily want to use the terminology level 1, level 2. So let me think how else I could sort of describe this. So because essentially at each layer, I want to increment. Technically, I could just keep incrementing. That's level 1, that's level 2, move over, that's level 3. Yeah, so let me see if I just do increment. So that's 1, and the level 1 contains these 3 at level 2. Then you exit that one, so now you get another part, level 3, that contains this one at level 4. And then you just go through each level. Okay, so I think what I'll do, I don't know if this is what, but I'll iterate through input string. I want to add parentheses at each level. I want to count num valid parentheses at each level, and then return max num valid parentheses across all levels. And how I define level is every open close. So it's every open close. How do I explore these? If I'm right here and I go here, I go there. Okay, so I'm making sense of the problem now. The implementation might be a bit tricky. That's why I'm thinking through it now. But does my understanding of the problem look valid?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
it might also be a question of so if I'm understanding, you're iterating through the string multiple times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with something like like this, it seems like it would be very inefficient, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if you want, you can think, is there a way we could do better?
This question. Return the max breadth of parentheses and anything string to the max breadth parentheses in the string. All right. So I know the best non-competitor here is open. So let me think how I can hit that. So essentially, you're just going through the whole string in one pass. That's the best. I can't do login for this. So okay, let me see.
I think that's right.
How can I make this open? Iterate through. Every time you see that, you dig down. I don't know if BFS is gonna work, but I'm gonna try and apply BFS to this and see what happens. So if I try to do BFS on this, and the BFS is just O of V plus E, which in this case should be open. So if I were to run this, let me see. So I see an else. If open parentheses, append to Q, and then open parentheses, append to Q, so let me say append to list of siblings, and then if close parentheses, I'm going to pop from Q. I don't count necessarily. No, this might get tricky. Okay. I'm going to take 2 minutes to think. It was kind of hard to share my thoughts and think at the same
Okay,
time.
sure, that's fine.
Okay, so
Yeah, and also if you want to go with this approach, I think it is sensible, so
Yeah.
you could start coding it up.
Okay, yeah. It'll probably help if I just run and test it. It'll come along the way. So let's just get erase more siblings, return to max breadth parentheses, right? So define get max parentheses breadth this time. And similar to above, valid parentheses string, and similar. Let's see how much of this I can just reuse. Let's say max parentheses depth, breadth, so it's at 0, step, current breadth, parentheses and parentheses. These parts, and then I'll figure out about that. Breadth is every sibling parentheses. So every open, close, open, close. Question on line 120 for input 11. If I did this, would the max breadth still be 3?
I'm sorry, I scrolled up and then somehow it scrolled left.
Yeah, I was saying on line 120 for test input 11, let me undo. So this one was 3 for the last test case. If I added this, would that still be 3?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, it's at the same level. Okay, so I want to keep track of the levels. So I'm going to say current breadth. So I don't mix up the terms. So every time I see an open parentheses, I know my current breadth level goes up by 1. I see a close parentheses, and the current breadth level goes down by 1. And I want to increment the number of siblings at each breath. So siblings at each breath, so I'm going to keep track of the number. If it's 0, here's why. So I want a dictionary. So siblings per level goes to this. If I say every open, I'm going to keep track. Current breath plus 1. Let me do this. All right, so how would I BFS this? I need a queue. So visited, import from collections, import deck. So visited equals to the deck. So that's this. And I essentially want, and it will start with the first parentheses. That one to start with? Where do I want to start? Yeah, so the parentheses and valid parentheses string. Visited equals time for that. And then I want to go, let me think through this now. How do I iterate through this? So I forget that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
What is the queue keeping track of again?
What is the, which one?
The queue.
Oh, the queue is keeping track of what is currently at each level. Essentially, I want to pop when I get to the close and then push all this siblings. That's the part I'm trying to figure out exactly. How would I apply BFS to this? I think. Oh. Interesting question. Let me see if I can try and solve it for a simple case first and go from there. So if I just take this and paste this at the bottom, so simple, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. That's how I solve these 3. So I go through parentheses. Let me start simple. It's open. Let me put this up for now. So if I do open, close, that's 1. Open, close is 1. Right, so let's go for now. Counter 0. That counter close equals to 1. This counter is equals to 1. And for each case, if not counter, so if it's 0, it's always valid. So the first one should always increment by 1. So not counter, then I'll say next parentheses breadth is equals to 1. So that's 1, that's 1. Let's do this. Let me just quickly print these. Of course, this won't work nested, but let's build on top of simple approaches first. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let me see what that previous prints. So what this gives me. Alright, so 301 is interesting. So let me see what it shows. So counter plus equals 1. So you go through.
So just so you're aware, I think it seems like you put test input 1 for all of these.
Oh, sorry about that. Not counter is equal to 0. No, counter is equal to 0 at each stage. So that's not 0. That's 0. That's 1. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that works. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's a simple case. So now let me jump to first nested case. That's 4. If I do this, let me start simple. That, and this is 1. So this should give me a 1. It's not going to work right now, so it won't run yet. So how do I handle this? If you have this and this, then this is where I will have to introduce BFS to keep track of the level. So
Sorry, it
I've been
sounded like
saying-
DFS.
Yeah,
I
I've been
know you've been
saying
writing
BFS with a Q.
B.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I want to make sure. Let me write this comment. Use BFS to count the number of sibling parentheses at each level in the input string. Which is, do that by this level, you do that. Oh, also, I do have to just sort of have to jump off my meeting in like 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's fine. You can feel free to keep on going until then, or if you want to wrap up here and ask any questions you have for me, feel free to do that too.
Yeah, I do have to set some things up, so I do have to hop off now.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, cool. All right, well, thank you so much, and I'm sorry again about all this.
Oh yeah, no worries at all. And thanks a lot again,
Yeah.
even for this crazy problem at the end.
All right.